me just take you in for a minute. You know, there's just something about unity that we all have the same spirit. You know what I mean? It's just all the loving energy coming out of everyone. And, okay, first of all, I'll tell you right up front, I cry. You know, I probably will cry every time I'm here. But really, the sacredness of coming here and seeing you together and just being the community that you are has just been so very, very, very special. And I also say that I commend you for sending David on a sabbatical. The best thing that you can do for your minister is give him time off. So as you realize that and give him the space to regroup and do what is his to do is very, very special. I do know that when I would first go to my first Unity Church, my minister was serving on the board, like I have done many times with the Unity Worldwide Ministries. And, you know, I would just have to admit, I'd come in and go, is she gone again? Where is she? Is she gone again? And so I just say thank you for having the patience and to send David off to his good. So I'll have to say that I was raised a Colorado girl. I was taught to respect all living life. I have always had the ability to see in nature the living, breathing soul that nature is. Nature shows us how a tiny, delicate little flower can break through the street. It breaks through the asphalt. Or actually, nature can bring us peace in every flower, every animal, every stone that crossed our path. And it has a message for us all. So synchronicity is a concept developed by Carl Jung to describe a perceived meaningful coincidence. Jung describes synchronicity as a causal connection principle in which events, both large and small, in the external world might align to the experience of the individual, and perhaps mirroring and echoing your personal concerns or thoughts. So today we will explore the wisdom of Father Sky. And we'll be talking about these principles. See the big picture. Be a star. Don't be afraid of the dark. And expand your horizons. So before we do that, I want to explain what happened to me when I was 5 years old. This is a very true story. I was blessed with being able to have every animal imaginable. So one Easter, my parents and my friend Danny Fagan, we got little chicks for Easter. I was so excited, my little chick. And so Danny Fagan and I decided that our little chicks had to stay together so they would have company, right? So I would take the chicks one night, and I would take them and put them in my room, in their box, cover them up, make them all safe. And then I would give them to Danny Fagan, and he would take care of the little chicks, right? One day, I go walking over to Danny's house to get my chick, and I get the news. They put the chicks in the carport. I know. My chick is in the carport. My chick is in the airport. Okay, so we went out, and this is real, this is true. We went out, they were frozen. Oh, if there was one thing I learned at that time, is Danny Fagan was never going to get my chick ever again. But what we did, it was amazing. Danny's mother goes, okay, Let's bring these chicks in. And we put them on a desk, and we put a light over them, and we prayed. And maybe that's why I'm a minister today. I don't know. But honest to gosh, we lay our hands on these chicks, and the light came, and choop, 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 they came back to life. I know. It was the resurrection story all over again. That was probably when I knew I had a connection with nature, and that nature really does show us everything. This has been a principle that I've been reading about for a long, long time. And it is Carl Jung's work, that we can learn from our subconscious minds, right? But if you don't like dream work or whatever that might be, we can look out in the world, and what we see is who we are. Everyone know about projection? Yes? The good projection, the bad projections that we might have. Guess what, friends? It all comes from our heart. From our heart. So see the big picture. I have some statistics that are wonderful. See the big picture. Number of solar systems estimated, 100 quadrillion. Number of solar systems estimated, 100 quadrillion. The largest animal that ever lived is alive right now. It's which is about over 200 tons, almost twice the size of the biggest dinosaur ever recorded, has a length of 110 feet and 2.5 inches. 1 billion is a very difficult number to comprehend, but an advertising agency did a pretty good job to tell you, to put your perspective into what is 1 million, okay? I was talking to some of you outside, and there's a lot of difference between 1 million and 1 billion. Okay, just think of this. 1 billion seconds ago, it was 1951. 1 billion minutes ago, Jesus was alive. 1 billion hours ago, our ancestors were living in the Stone Age. The largest rough diamond ever recorded weighed 3,106 carats. More than 100 finished diamonds were cut from this, including one which weighed 530 carats. Ice shelves are large sheets that are in the Antarctica. The Ross Ice Shelf, the largest one measuring more than 2,297 feet thick in some areas. And 37,000, get that number, the weight in pound of the world's largest cookie, officially measuring 102 feet across. The chocolate chip cookie was baked and was accompanied with a 4,000-gallon glass of milk. Isn't this crazy? The cookie's ingredients, 30,000 eggs, 6,500 pounds of butter, 6,000 pounds of chocolates were donated. Cut the cookie and were sold for a fundraiser in North Carolina. Just think of that. Okay, the next principle, be a star. Now we know we study the Bible, right? And in many places in that Bible, we think of humans doing things that are just thinking the things that we didn't think we could do. All throughout history, it's a story about people like us who have gone beyond themselves. The people we read about today who have stepped out. In the beginning, they didn't think they could do it, but they went to God and came through and had miracles. When Michelangelo was ordered to decorate the walls of the chapel, he refused flatly. He said, "I've never done that work. I can't do that work. I'm not going to do it." And guess what? They simply just told him that was not acceptable. When he discovered that there was no alternative that would be unpleasant, he mixed his colors and went to work. Before in his mind, the big picture, it was just too vast. It was too big for him to even imagine doing. But guess what he did? He started one little inch painting, and then moved from another place and another place. And of course, he created the world's most beautiful painting ever around. Napoleon Hill has written, and I know I'm talking to the choir on this one, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve. There are three kinds of people in the world. Which one are you? The wills, the won'ts, and the can'ts. The first accomplish everything, the second oppose everything, and the third fails at everything. The greatest achievements of humankind have been accomplished by two types of men and women. Those who were smart enough to know it could be done, and those that were dumb enough that said it couldn't be done. So don't be afraid of the dark. Anybody afraid of the dark? Don't raise your hands. Anybody afraid of the dark? I always kind of sleep with the nightlight on, Your faith can perform miracles. Let me say that again. Your faith can perform miracles. How often have you and I said, if only I had enough faith, I could? Jesus said, if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you will say to this mountain, move from here to there, and nothing will be impossible for you. Matthew chapter 17, verse 20. Nothing is going to be impossible when you believe. You work with God by discarding all negative beliefs, fears, doubts, and human mind of the past, and fill your heart with love and joy. Your faith increases with use until you reach the consciousness where you do have the faith in miracles. So let's talk about that a little bit. What are some of the beliefs that we have learned about ourselves that just aren't true? I know we've all had this one. I'm not enough. What else? Talk to me. I'm afraid. Come on.
Well, grew up believing in Catholicism that we were not worthy. We said that every Sunday service, we are not worthy to receive you.
I know. I know. Not worthy. Anything else? Anybody afraid of heights? Am I the only one?
And I'm tall, so it makes it really stupid.
Yeah. The doubts, were you ever raised with money doesn't grow on trees? Money doesn't grow on trees. Oh, yeah, it does. It really does. It really does. Yeah. It's amazing how we limit ourselves, isn't it? So next point, stay full of wonder. I have an affirmation for you this morning, and it goes like this. I will never put a question mark where God has put a period. Isn't that good? I'll never put a question mark where God has put a period. You'll never question God working through you, period. The truth about you is that with God, you have all the guidance you ever need, period. With God, you have the healing you need, period. There's not even a discussion or an argument there. With God, you're going to have the prosperity and the ideas you need to turn around your life, period. The famous author, Robert Bentley said. It took me 15 years to discover I had no talent for writing. But by then, I couldn't give up because by that time, I was too famous. The story is told about Henry Ford, who wanted to have safety glasses for all of his cars. He went to his people and said, I want safety glasses for my cars. And guess what? 130 of the top researchers said, it's impossible. Well, if you know anything about Henry Ford, no, you don't say that to him. So he finally found that one person that didn't believe in impossible. And of course, guess what? Safety glasses were created. Many times you have to get out of the locked belief of impossibilities and go into our new realm. Our new realm. I've been working with your minister, David, for a very long time. And for you, and you guys, I know you're going to like this. But I'm affirming, and I really do believe, remember the 2012 when the Mayan calendar was going to be done? And I do think that we have entered a new golden age. And don't you love that? Don't you want to join me in claiming our golden age? A lot of us have a lot more years to live. And I am affirming that this is my golden age. In fact, I was in Mexico with my girlfriend, right? And we go to the bank. And she's trying to figure out how to do her online baking. And I'm just like, oh, God, I am so embarrassed. I am so embarrassed. And I said, we acted like the Golden Girls in there. And my girlfriend, it was so perfect. She goes, Julie, I claim it. We are the Golden Girls. We are it. We are the Golden Girls. And I went, yeah. And this is our golden age. Our golden age of healings, of loving each other more than anything. I've been doing some research for Unity Worldwide Ministries, and guess what the good news is? We are entering 500 years of pure peace. Think about that one. You believe it? The crime rate is going down in our children. That's phenomenal. And to claim that this is going to be 500, and some people say 1,500 years of peace. Can we not claim that this is our golden age? That we're entering a time of pure peace? People are going to finally get our principle that as you do to you, you do to me. Would that not be great news? Yeah, karma. I was talking to some friends that, I've got a brand new house in Colorado Springs. We just moved. And I was talking to the Finns people. Now I forgot what I was going to say. Dang. Oh, well, I'll have to come back to that later. But we are. Oh, yeah. Karma. What we give out to people. Don't you love it when you catch that thought again? Yeah. That we are truly going to know what karma is all about. Maybe in your own human brain, you have proved time and time again that something is impossible for you. Maybe you believe it's impossible to heal your body or have success in a certain business or get the education you want. You believe this because you've tried and tried and tried and failed and failed and failed. The problem has to be solved at a higher level of your mind. Not your mind, but God mind. God mind coming through you. There is one word in the English language that God has never heard or never even understood, and that is impossible. Impossible. Expand your horizons. Now this is really interesting. Let's talk about the human brain for just a moment. This is why the human brain inside of us needs help. During our first 18 years of life, get this, we do this to our children and our grandchildren. During the first 18 years of life, we were told no, or what we could not do, 148,000 times. Neuro researchers, scientists who study the human brain, tell us 77% of our programming is not true. Aren't these statistics unreal? Let's examine that for a moment. Let's say that you went to the airport right now and you boarded a plane. While we were getting on the plane, you overheard the captain say to the co-pilot, 77% of our programming in our computer is not accurate. Would you stay on that plane? You'd be off that plane so fast. If this is true about our own human mind, let us go to the mind that is higher, the mind of God. Know that it is not far off and separate, but it can come through us this moment. But guess what, folks? We have to consent to it, and we have to ask. Two very important things. We have to ask. Who in this room, and you don't have to raise your hand, who asks for assistance from the angels? This is mine. I ask for permission from the infinite Spirit of God, the angels, my guides, my soul group, and the ascended masters to help me throughout the day. We have so much help, but we have to ask. We have to ask. The energy of the whole earth is estimated to amount to only 1/1,000,000th of a horsepower. A toy magnet in the hands of a child can be thousands of times stronger. But what gravity lacks in brawn, it makes up in tenacity. Its reach is limitless, shaping and governing the universe across an unimaginable space. The frail attraction keeps the moon orbiting the earth, the planets revolving around the sun, and the sun, along with 1,000,000 other stars, rotating around the center of our galaxy like a cosmic pinwheel. True prayer changes your perception. You are seeing. See only good from your eyes. When you accept that perception of faith, you're seeing your own life as good, and the possibilities in our life are endless, endless. There was a man who was walking down a hallway in a hotel. He looked down the hallway, and he saw a man that was approaching him. And he instantly thought, man, that man really carries himself well. Man, I think I'd like that man. And as he got closer and closer, he realized it was him in a mirror. At that point, he realized that he was his own fate maker. A moment before, he was filled with worry and insecurities. It was one of the most powerful turning points in the man's life. It's important for you to know that to witness a miracle, we must stand aside in thought and let God, just like our daily word today, let go and let God. Let God work through you. We cultivate the practice of God's presence until it literally takes over. the miracles of changing the negative elements in our consciousness into spiritual forces performed in us when we pray and are unified with God. A fusion takes place within our brain and the mind of God. The mind that is not expectant of the miracle cannot receive it. So today, I urge you to know that your faith performs miracles. It performs as you try initially. It performs during the journey, and it performs through you. It looks like you and feels like you, but guess what? It's something else. It's something much higher and much greater. Wisdom of Father Sky. See the big picture. Be a star. Don't be afraid of the dark. Expand your horizons. You become awestruck as you walk down that hall and you see that person walking to you, towards you, and you'd really like to get to know him or her. Truly you will, because it's you. God bless you. Now lead me here, since I'm new. Do I go into meditation now? Yes. Perfect. My favorite thing to do is to pray. So if it feels right, gently close your eyes. And we go from that head to our hearts. And remember a time when you deeply, deeply loved. It might be a time with your spouse or your children, a beloved pet, or a wonderful time in nature. But bring to mind that feeling of unconditional love. And then just think of something you appreciate. I think love and appreciation is our creative power. So just feel that now. Embrace that. And then we're going to take the energy from Father Sky. Feel that energy coming and entering your body, in your crown chakra. Oh, and let it nurture you, love you. Take the ideas that we have talked about. You are a star. Expand your horizons. Be your own faith maker. Connect with God, the infinite spirit of love. And today we now ask for the assistance of the infinite power of God, our angels, our guides, our soul group, and the ascended masters. Sometimes I just come in and call for the Christ light to help me in all that I am and all that I do. Sometimes I call on Mother Mary, that beautiful divine love. So we call them in and ask their assistance. And now that energy that is within our body, we know, first of all, that that love and that gratitude heals every one of our cells. Every cell is cooperating with each other in a beautiful community in your body. Feel it. Feel that wholeness within your entire body. Affirm life. Affirm wholeness. And now feel that energy going through your feet all the way down into Mother Earth. And know that we're healing the earth. as we speak. Realize that as you come together and celebrate God, you're healing the world. This is no small task at hand, my friends. This is us healing the earth. We send out our love and our gratitude for all of the people that attend this church, all of our family members, all of our pets. We put it out into the entire unity movement and the world, the world. So now let's just take a few moments in this silence and affirm the perfection, the faith, and the power that works through each and every one of us. A moment with your God. And now as we come back together, let's affirm your song. Behold what manner of love the Creator has given unto us. Behold what manner of love the Creator has given unto us, that we should be called the children of God. That we should be called the children of God. Through the power and the presence of the living Christ nature within each and every one of us. We affirm this to be so, and so it is. Amen and amen.